Hi, I'm Pete from Time on Your Hands, and today we're breaking down a fillet of beef. So a fillet of beef is one of my all-time favourite bits of meat. It's soft, it's buttery, it's tender, it's absolutely beautiful, but man is it expensive. So I buy mine from the internet in a big plastic bag, and it comes with all the side muscles. It's about 70 quid for what they say is 2 kilos, but you tend to get about 2.7, 2.8 depending on your butcher. Then you've got to break it down. So I've got one that I've just taken out of a plastic bag, patted it dry. I'll see you in a moment to break it down. Okay, so this here is our fillet. Now this is a truly wonderful piece of meat. It's from part of the cow that literally does no work at all. And we've got 3 items here. We've got the fillet, we've got the petit roast, which is this lovely muscle here, and on this side we've got the chain. In America this is called a pismo, which means peeled side muscles on, and these of course are the side muscles. The other thing you'll notice here is that we've got this big bit of silver skin. We've got to take that off. It's quite an easy job to do, and we'll get to that in a moment. So these muscles here come off really easily. You just literally follow the cut along the edge of the meat. Now I use a ratty little sharp but small knife for this, and I'll jump to a bigger knife as we get along. But right now we literally just follow the muscle, just nice small cuts, and it will all just come apart. Right, there we go. That is the petit roast. Now, a lot of people get that confused with the Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand is actually the middle part of the steak there. But we're not going to use that as a Chateaubriand because, quite frankly, that is a good meal for 2 right there. So we're going to put it aside. When we get around to cooking that, we'll treat it as though it's a Chateaubriand. The chain comes off just as easily. It is a case of follow the muscle. Take all the fat off with the chain. You don't want the fat left behind on the fillet. And then we have the chain. It's fattier, it's got a lot of connective tissue, but I tend to just slice it up nice and thin and make cheesesteak sandwiches or use it in casseroles. It's really tasty. Now, the silver skin. This is it here. There's only one way to get rid of it. It's not fun, it's not hard. You simply get your knife underneath, like so, slide it along a bit, stick it out again, make enough room for your finger to get under there with it, and then slide all the way along, and then go back the other way. Now, I'm not going to make you watch all of this, so I'm going to take the rest of it off and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've taken all the silver skin off the steak, and the more eagle-eyed of you will notice that I've also trimmed a lot of the fat down. I've cut the tips off as well, probably an inch, maybe 1.5 inches of each tip, and that's gone in a freezer bag with the chain, which you know, I may freeze or I may eat it later. You'll also notice I've got a ruler here, and that's for a simple reason. I'm turning this purely into steaks. Now sometimes I would take this bit here and make it a Chateaubriand. As I said before, I'm going to use the petit roast as though it's a Chateaubriand and cook that up as dinner for two one night. So right now I'm going to just cut this into 1.5 inch steaks. Now the trick to making this really good is to use a ruler, to line it up at the beginning, and at either end, if you can, you want about a 3-inch steak, and you'll butterfly that one. So we're going to take this nice sharp chef's knife and just cut through. Then we cut it in half about 90% of the way through. Fold it over, not quite through enough there. Fold it over and you've got a nice 1.5 inch fillet steak. So we then reset our ruler, about 1.5 inches. About 1.5 inches. And so on. So as you can see, we've ended up with 13 steaks, a petit roast, and the chain, which quite frankly there could even be 2 meals in there. That is an amazing amount of meat for £70, and it's about as good as you're going to get. So stay tuned for more quick tips from Time on Your Hands. Thank you for watching.